Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Lady Calamere, and if you're a subscriber, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, well then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a great video. So I'm doing my 122nd video, and it will be on Cascaria. Yes, it's pronounced Cascaria. The double L is actually a letter in Spanish. So they have a single L, LA, then they have the double L, AA. So it would be pronounced Cascarilla. I know people in the West sometimes like to say Cascarilla or Cascarilla. It's actually pronounced Cascarilla. So what is it? Well, it is powdered eggshell made into chalk or just powder. So this is compressed Cascaria. Why are we using powdered eggshell? Well, originally in Africa, it was a clay called ifun that was white to white grayish white. And this clay was used for many things, especially for protection and cleansing and writing of different veves and different symbols. Now, when people were taken out of Africa, no one was able to get ifun, even before the internet. Okay, before you can order things online, it was hard to get ifun. So even back in the 1940s, way after slavery has ended, it was impossible to get ifun. So a great substitute was eggshells. And the egg, I know a lot of people I see on the internet are using blue shells and black shells and whatever shells. It should really be white shells, especially for what we're using. So it's in Africa, there was a clay called ifun, and I know in the Bantu it's called impemba, and in some traditions it's also called pemba. Now, most of the African diaspora will use, now look, underline most, will use Cascaria, Ifun, Impemba. Not all. Now, Cascaria has crossed over into different spirituality and religions. Sometimes it's used in hoodoo, Wicca, witchcraft, neo-paganism now make use of Cascaria. You can buy it already made, and if it's commercially made and made in bulk, it's probably maybe 100% eggshells. But how you know you're really getting good stuff is when it powders like this. See? If it doesn't come off that easy and they're selling it to you as Cascaria, walk away. Because it's probably not 100% eggshell. Just walk away. It should easily, I know some people find it annoying, but it should do this. Okay? And let me tell you, you can wipe it right off. You can make your own Cascaria from white. I recommend white shells because why? Because you want the white energy, the power from the whiteness, which is going to work with spirits like Obatala, and that's Obatala. It's going to work with like in his feminine, Ochala. It's going to work with any of the spirits that deal with the white light. I mean, we're not talking about just white light energies. We're talking about white, that or spirits of white. And now people are using it. I don't know if you can see her. For the white path of Santa Muerte. Or just generally people who worship Santa Muerte are also making use with magic with Cascaria. Sir Mew Mew, that is mean. Excuse me. Sir Mew Mew, don't beat your sister up again. That was Lady Boss crying. Sir Mew Mew likes to beat her up. Sir Mew Mew, stop bullying her, please. Every time I try to do this. And I wanted to put out a white altar cloth, but Shadow took over this, and I was using this for something else. I guess it's meant to be. You can make your own Cascaria. Sorry, I do not have a script. And I got distracted by, after you use your eggs to cook, or you could put a hole in one end of the shell and a hole in the other and just blow out the egg into your pan or whatever you're going to cook your eggs with. And you take the shells and you want to clean them out. Okay, make sure you clean it out. It's going to stink. Make sure you clean it out, and you can leave the shells out in the sun for about up to 3 days. Or you can put it in the oven on low heat. I don't, I haven't I don't remember when the last time I made my own Cascaria. It's been a while. But I let it dry out naturally. And you can do that. And then you can put it in the mortar and pestle. I should have got my mortar and pestle out. And it doesn't matter what color the mortar and pestle is, please. And you could put it in a blender or food processor or spice grinder. But I like using a mortar and pestle because I can really put my energy into it. And you want to pray over it. Whatever your belief is. If you're Christian, do the Our Father. If you're Catholic, do the Our Father and Hail Mary. If you're pagan, then pray to your deities. You can do different psalms over it, like Psalm 23. Whatever your faith is. You do not have to be African descent to use Cascaria. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, your spirituality, your religion, your beliefs. You can use Cascaria, make Cascaria. Now, in the making of Cascaria, you want to have sacred water. Now, that could be water from a sacred well, like the water from Kildare, Ireland. I have some from someone gave it to me, and I keep it in the vial, and I've had it for a long time. You can use holy water from the church. You can make your own sacred holy water or moon water. Sun water, leave it out in the sun, and just some people like to put 3 equal crosses, or even Christian crosses, whatever your belief is. And use that with the making of Cascaria. And I gotta break up a bad fight. Never fails. You're a bad boy. Come on, climb up, room. No, you don't go after the kittens. Mew Mew, get in the room. You know you did that. You're in timeout. Oh, Sir Mew Mew is in a timeout room. Don't worry, folks. He has water and he has a litter box. Actually, there's food in there, so he just needs a little timeout. So he wasn't play fighting. He was being really mean. Anyways, back to making the cascarilla. You grind it up, and while you're during the process of grinding, you just bless a little bit with water. You don't want to soak it. Just, spritz it a little bit. Or you can do it after it's been dried. And you can grind it up to a fine powder or to a coarse powder. You can make sure, if you could do it right, compress it. I know some people are putting herbs in it. Traditionally, it's not made with any herbs. It's just eggshell. I know some people are putting flour in it to extend it because they don't have enough. And if you want to put lavender and dragon's blood, that's up to you, but it's not traditional to do it that way. And if you start changing the color from a white to an off, you're changing the vibration of it. Okay? I'm just going to put that out there. So Cascaria. Also, people in Africa have used ground limestone for the purpose we are using. But eggshell, and with eggs, we use it for cleansing. And Cascaria is great for cleansing. It's great for blessing. So if, bless your hands so that you do good work, you could take it and bless your feet. You take this and you could put a Christian cross or an equilateral cross. If you are not comfortable with crosses in any way, shape, or form, you can use in your traditional pentagram. So, and what this does is when you put it on the soles of your feet and also on the bottom of your shoes, is to help you when you walk, in case you walk over any cursed objects that was meant for someone else, or to protect you from picking up negative energy. Another thing is, if you feel there is an oppressive spirit around you, Cascaria can be used to put on the back of your neck, because that's where, we talk about in voodoo and Santeria, where spirits will go right around that area. And good or bad, even the Orishas and Loas, you could put it down the back of your neck and just say, I don't want to be ridden by any spirits. I don't want to be a horse. I don't want to be possessed. Another thing is, it will also protect you also if you're cleansing a home. And you can put this on your forehead and on your back of your neck to help you. And another thing, when people are sending energy, sometimes you'll notice it will hit you on the main chakras, especially if it's aimed. And sometimes these energies can hit you right in the solar plexus. My thing to you is to put it on those chakras too. Again, it's just eggshell powder. So it's not going to stain anything. I can get it out, see? If you're concerned about, it, you can put it, under, you could put sigils of protection or whatever underneath picture frames, or under carpets, or, lift a part of a rug up and put it on underneath. You can write things out. You can put veves there and have it covered up. Another thing is you can use Cascaria is to cast your circle. You draw out the circle with Cascaria. After you cleanse and consecrate, of course. You don't want to keep in negativity. Because if you don't cleanse your place and you draw a border, let's say a circle, or let's say you want to cleanse your home and you want to ward it. If you don't cleanse the home first, or you're keeping the negativity in. This can help, whether it's Ifun. You can now go get Ifun. Some botanicas have it. If you want Ifun. I don't have Ifun. I had Ifun. I don't have it now. And its Cascaria is more readily available. But you use it to draw around your windows. Also, if you're doing a cleansing and you're doing a protection, make sure you get those mirrors too. Spirits can enter in and out through mirrors. Doors. Doesn't matter if it's a closet door or door entering to your bedroom. It's a doorway. Windows or a doorway. Fireplaces. Doorway. You want to make sure that you bless it. And sometimes it's just a little bit tedious to draw around everything, so you can just take something like this, even chalk, and just powder it up and use it as loose powder and just sprinkle it everywhere. This is safe to use around children. You can put this underneath pet beds, especially to protect your animals. Another thing is you can use Cascaria inside floor washes. So you can take your mop water and put Florida water in, tar water. You can put La Bamba, use La Bamba floor wash. Or you can get floor wash and Mr. Clean with some of this in Cascaria and some 1800 cologne. Just don't need a lot. While you're cleaning your floors physically, you also clean it spiritually, and you want to empower that water. You can send energy into it. Even if you're a novice with energy work, you can say a prayer over it. Doesn't matter who you're praying to. Pray to whatever you feel is whoever's going to protect you, whether it's Sekhmet, Diana, or Batala, La Niña Blanca of Santa Muerte, whatever. Whoever is going to protect you. And you do it with intention. You're thinking that all the bad things are being swept, being cleaned up. So not only are you cleaning you're doing a physical cleaning, you're doing a spiritual cleaning. Now, Cascaria is a very powerful thing to use. If you buy it already made in a botanica, you could still use, just sprinkle with just a little bit of holy water, or put your attention in, and you can, get a little spit power in your hand, and that really gets the vibrations going, and you can make a sphere and visualize whatever you want in the sphere, whatever, make it like a white light, since this is Cascaria, and you can empower it and ask it and empower it and have it for your benefit, to cleanse, to protect, to remove bad things, to be used for veves. And yes, they are used to draw out veves. You can draw out pontos with that. That's in Kambanda. So, sigil work, runes, certain, you can, Theban script, doesn't matter. Whew, it's hot in here. Whew, I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. Please deal with me. And while you can look at Mr. Shadow, or we can look at Lady Bust. She's so beautiful. I'll be right back. talk more about Cascaria. It's like 1,000 degrees in here. That's their cat toys going on. You're not breaking my statue, little boo. I saw what you were about to do. So I'm back. Sorry about that. So, Cascaria is also a great offering to use for different deities, like Abatala. Also, when you're offering coconuts to him, you want to get off the hair off the coconut and use the Cascaria over the coconut to make it white, and you give it to Abatala. That's how he accepts his coconuts, as a whole coconut. So Cascaria can be used to help remove curses, negative energy, stagnant energy, ghost loops, to help remove that if you're having any problems. So I know there is black eggshell powder. That's a little harder to get, and that's for a different purpose. That's for like banishing and hexing. But with the white, it's going to work with the white pure vibrational energies, and it can be used for altars. You can use it for good luck. So if you're gambling, you can put some Cascaria on your lotto ticket before you play, and then after you play as a blessing, or rub it on your hands before you go gambling. Also, if you're going to Las Vegas or Atlantic City, you can go to the gambling machines, but just don't let people see you, because they might think you're doing a terrorist thing. I don't want you being arrested and held for, they might think you're putting anthrax powder, okay? Be very careful with that, okay? I don't want to hear, hey, Calamari, I went to Atlantic City and you told me, well, I'll tell you the thing. When you go to like these machines, you'll notice that it may have some energy of badness, because some people were cursing at the machine, or they're sitting at the machine for like hours, literally peeing themselves while they're playing. I played the slots, but I didn't play it all day, and I refuse to that. But there's some people that are addicted, and they start kicking the machine, almost spitting at it and saying you're shit, fuck you, and you have those energies. So right before you go to gambling, put a little bit of your hands, and then go enjoy the slots, or go gambling, just so that it will protect you. Say, please, you can say, please, Abatala, please protect me from all the negative energies, and let me have good luck in your holy name, whatever. And you see my hands? I rubbed it in. I didn't even rub it off. I rubbed it in. No one knows. And you can touch the slots and everything. You're going for a job. Maybe you put some of this on the application and just wipe it off. I'll show you. Let me see a piece of paper. I have a card here. So, all right. And you can use this to remove blocks, energy blocks, from your job, from a prospective job, or moving, if you're putting an application, I don't know, maybe for Social Security, You're putting an application in for, maybe you're taking for a driving license. You want to ask that all blocks be removed from your success of getting what you want. And you don't leave the powder there. What the heck? People are like, what the heck is this powder? Like, you do one of these, you see that? Just like that. It's great to, as I said, it wards because it sort of like draws a line here where you cannot cross. And it's eggshell powder or Yifun is very powerful. I know some people like to use just regular chalk, but I recommend Cascaria over just regular chalk. I know chalks have different colors, whatever. But we're talking about Cascaria. You can also use this before divination. Wipe it on your hands. You can use this on your cards, your divination cards, and wipe it off. I don't have any divination cards here. Well, we can like show you. I got this one. It's not a divination. See? And what that does is it removes any negative energies from it. Or if anyone who's been touching your cards or handling, maybe you have clients, the current, as they call it, or the clients touching the cards. Like you ask them to shuffle it or something, so you can get their energy off that. It's also good before mediumship, before doing medium or working with the Ouija board. You can use this before and after sessions to put this on the Ouija board to help you protect from negative energies. Because this is, you can use Cascaria to bring in good energies, the good spirits. Okay? You ask to be protected from the bad and bring in the good spirits. So if you want to talk to your belated husband or your late father or maybe a friend who passed away a few weeks ago, you can use that. You can bless your pendulum. It's great for blessing too. Not just for protection, but blessing. Literally blessing. It can be great for sacred items too. Now, another thing is that if you're having negative dreams, you can put this around, draw a chalk around, put a circle around your bed, or just keep this by your bedside, and when you wake up, you can, wipe down your forehead, wipe down where it's just, I don't need to tell you your brain is in your head, right? So to protect you from negative thoughts, and you could put a little bit on top of your head, on your hair, or if you're bald, I just put some on my hair. You can also, if you're not a light sleeper and you wake up and you're having bad dreams, you can have it powdered and put some of this in water and just stand in your tub and pour and bless the water and pour this Cascaria mixture over you and go back to bed. That will wake me up and I'm done. I would just rather put the Cascaria on me and just go back to sleep. It's good for children who are having nightmares. Sometimes these could be brought on by fear, your ordinary nightmare, or there could be negative energies, or it could be some asshole cursing your child. Or it could be a curse that's meant for you, but it's going after your child. So you can protect your child, especially if your child is a medium. A lot of children are naturally psychic, but then there are special ones that can really pierce the veil. It's good for them to have Cascaria. It's good for you to teach them how to put Cascaria on themselves. Okay, just you don't need to cover your whole self with Cascaria. So, and then, like I said, it's eggshell. Especially if you know where it's made at, or you can make it yourself if you're not lazy. Sometimes I'm lazy. So, like I said, Cascaria chalk can be used to mark boundaries. You can use Cascaria on your statues when they first come in. You can use Cascaria on your crystals. And by the way, if you're making your own Cascaria, you can put crystals around it. Put selenite around it. Put quartz. Whatever floats your boat. Especially white crystals. Selenite, white crystals, clear quartz, white jade. I suggest white crystals, white pearls, all around it. So, Cascaria has a very cooling energy, and it's made up of yin yang energy, male female energy. However, the feminine energy is more dominant in Cascaria. It has a polarity of male and female, but the feminine energy is more dominant. If I was to put this on the Tree of Life, it would be on Keter. It would be on a Keter Sephiroth. The Ancient of Days. That white globe on the top of the Tree of Life, that white ball, that would be Keter. So you can use this indoors, outdoors, it doesn't matter. If someone has put a cursed item on your doorstep, do not touch it. You can use gloves, but also pick it up with tongs, and you can powder, have Cascaria all over it before you dispose of it. Well, yeah, of course, people could put holy water, you can, other things. But we're talking about Cascaria, so you could put Cascaria on it. And it really is good for exorcisms. So if you're removing a spirit from people, places, or things, you can use Cascaria. And people literally can powder it. Make sure the person closes their eyes and blow it. Make sure that when you're blowing it, tell them just hold your breath for a second or two, close their eyes, and blow it in their face. So, in the terrains of Abatala, if you know about Lukumi, Santeria, sometimes you're going to find different amounts of Cascaria. Sometimes it could be 8, 4, or 1. It depends. So, you can also mix this if you're painting your home, especially if you're doing white. You could put some powdered Cascaria in it. Just a little bit, and ask for the paint to be blessed, so that when you paint the walls, you're not only painting your walls, but you're also putting power of warding and protection and cleansing. You know how some people put powder on our rugs and carpets, like love my carpet, and they pour it. With that, you could take Cascaria powdered and put it all over the rug with it, and ask that all energies be removed. And then you take the vacuum and suck it up and vacuum it up. So instead of just putting love my carpet on, or love my pet on your carpet, you can also mix it with Cascaria. So you're cleaning physically and spiritually again, like you did with the mop water. These Cascaria can be used for positive change spells. So if you want a positive change, you could use Cascaria. If you want to attract good people to you and you want good friends, you can use this in your spells. I mean, you can also put this on your candle. You can decorate your put like Cascaria all over your candle to bless it and to empower it for that, especially if you're doing positive magic. Cascaria can be used for banishing too, for banishing spells to banish people, so you can incorporate that. I know black eggshell powder, just a little bit on that. You can pour it on your doorstep outside just to keep certain people away, or so that they don't do any damage to you. But we want to talk more about the white one. So what else about Cascaria? You can use it for incorporate it in your magical bath potions. So when you make these baths, if you do any of the spiritual bathing, you don't even need to have a bathtub to do it. You could use it in a shower, and you can actually incorporate the Cascaria. I almost said incorporate Santeria. Use Cascaria in your bath for an extra oomph to it. As like I said, it's pretty powerful. And any Santero or Santera who doesn't have Cascaria around is probably not with results. I mean, any Santero or Santera I've known always had Cascaria around. This is very good for people who are stressed out. Cascaria is used for calming down. It has this cooling energy about it. Sometimes you can just paint your whole body with Cascaria right before a shower when you're angry and you just want to calm down, and you just say prayers and you can rub it in, you see, and then go take a shower and just get rid of the day, especially if you have a high stress job. Maybe you have high clearance in the military. Maybe you are a physician in the emergency room. Maybe you're a nurse in the emergency room. Maybe you rescue animals all day and you're having a real bad day. Or maybe you rescue 23 dogs from an abuser's home. Maybe they were being abused and neglected. Or maybe they were being used in dog fighting rings. And you had to deal with all that negativity. So Cascaria can be used to help remove the negativity from you, to help you stabilize emotionally, mentally and psychically. Because sometimes when you deal with people like that, you just think of all types of things that you want to do to the person who hurt those poor innocent animals. Or if you're with CPS and you have to deal with some really real bad cases where you want to just take your hand and choke the life out of a child abuser, but you can't. You can't. So all these thoughts come in. So you want to use this Cascaria to get those, to help you balance yourself out, and to help you not be on the road to burnout. Because yes, those are burnout jobs. They can cause you to burn out. No matter how many lives you save, sometimes seeing this shit really hurts. So maybe your child is being bullied at school. Of course you got to do something about it, Maybe teach your kid to stand up for themselves, or also have your child learn how to, alert a teacher or an adult, maybe whatever. But they can come home and use Cascaria, to get those negative toxic tapes out of them. Maybe they were told all day by the bully that they're nothing, they're useless, they should go kill themselves. That's really freaking horrible. But they can use that to help cleanse themselves too. So, like I said, it's great to remove bad luck, bad mojo from yourself. And sometimes Cascaria are used in some of the gree bags and mojo bags, whatever you want to call it. It's inside or used on the outside for different purposes. Cascaria can help with your crystals too. You can take your crystal, but be careful. If it's very friable, you may just want to just put a little dash of it on. Because some crystals, when you rub it, like selenite, you can get selenite pieces in your Cascaria, and then you take it and put it on your forehead, and now you got selenite little crystals going on in your eyes. That's not good. That's not cool. Okay. Just be smart about it. If you want to, like selenite, you could do this, and then put it on yourself. Let me show you, like so. Hang on. I'm going to get my selenite. So, what I mean is, don't take and rub it, because these things can come off and then I can get in my eye. So what I want to do is, see how I'm doing it? Just patting it on. I'm doing my best not to get any selenite crystals on this, just in case any came off. I just wipe my hands. And it's a very pure energy. It's a very pure material to help us to reach the highest aspect of deity, or to the deity that we are paying tribute to. So it's a very pure element. It represents purity, virginity, purity, blessings, and power. So other things that you can use is protection spells. So protection spells, good luck spells, friendship spells, cleansing, banishing, forgiveness spells. So any forgiveness rituals, that would be good for that. Also, I know some people use Cascaria so if you got a negative spirit coming out of a grave, And certain times, if they're not, if you feel there's negativity, you can sprinkle Cascarilla around that grave when that energy is there, or when you know it, that you know, sometimes it's usually around midnight to around 4 or 5 in the morning when it's really active spirits. So right before that happens, like during the day, you could sprinkle around the grave, that particular plot. And of course the rain's going to wash it out, so it's a temporary fix for that. You can also use Cascaria, by the way. You know how, okay, let me tell you what's going on. In New Orleans, I know people were going to Marie Laveau's tomb and taking marker and marking, you know, putting the X on. Let me show you. I have a replica of her crypt. Let me show you what they're doing, though. They're defacing her. So this is a replica, but this is what they're doing. And it's illegal. If you're caught doing that to tombstone and stuff, depending on the city or state, you could be fined or imprisoned or both. So you can do this, right? And you can just ask her for a petition. And you see, I'm just going to show you. It's fine if you're in New Orleans, but don't get caught with this in New Orleans, because they could still, you know, depending on the officer or the person, they'll still say, "Oh, you're defacing the tomb," when it's not defacing anything, because it could be wiped off, or when it rains or some wind, it will be wiped off. But you can still make your petition. And of course, you want to give offering too, and thanks, if she or the spirit you're asking answers your prayers. So Cascaria is very sacred, is very powerful. So is Ifun and Pemba. I know there are some Ifuns, there's some type of clay, not Ifun, but it's a type of clay, white clay, that not only they use it for ritual, but some women eat a little bit of it because it's good. It has a lot of vitamins, especially if they're pregnant. So that's interesting. If I didn't bring that up, you're like, well, you didn't bring that up. Why didn't you bring it up? Oh, I just did. So and if you look at the eggshell, it represents new life. It represents nourishing of that new life. It represents beginning, the cosmic egg. Eggs should be a different presentation. One day I'm going to do something about eggs and what you can do with eggs. But yeah, I'm bringing it up a little bit because of Cascaria. And we do, you know, in Lukumi, you know, eggs are used even in hoodoo. It's used to remove negativity, to get it away from you. And different, depending on the practices, sometimes like palm oil may be put on it, writings or sigils, different psalms may be used, cigar smoke, even rum, and sometimes it could even be put into a paper bag, depending, and each egg is broken at a different crosswalk. So it all depends on the ritual. Cascaria, especially egg shells, is definitely used for egg. It's definitely considered with egg magic. It's white. It's also used more for the white magic. But again, you can go into more of the little bit of the areas of get this person away from my daughter or my son, or get this person away from here, or just, you know, move out, just go away, kind of thing. It's not because I just don't like you, it's because maybe you're keeping the neighbors up all night by partying. Maybe, you know, could be other things, whatever. But sometimes, you know, calling 911, calling the police if they're using drugs and bringing drug parties and stuff like that, and it's like 3 in the morning. So anyways, some people put this around their plants. It's not going to hurt it, even in the soil. It's eggshells, so people put that to remove negativity. Maybe negative spirits are hanging out in the yard or a tree, so you can use to evict certain energies. There's so much to be learned about Cascaria. I already talked about 51 minutes, and it was a longer presentation than I wanted to be. But if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If not, then give me a thumbs down. I hope you did enjoy it. I do enjoy your comments. And if you like this video, please subscribe. I do want to give a shout out to some people. My other half, George, had his birthday August 5th. Happy birthday. Thank you for so much. Love you. Love you lots. Also, I want to wish happy birthday to James Hetfield of Metallica. Metallica was the great four of thrash metal: Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica, and Megadeth. So, also want to give a happy birthday to Max Cavalera of many bands, including Sepultura, Go Ahead and Die, Soulfly, and Cavalera Conspiracy, and more. He's done so much for metal, and I am a metalhead, so happy birthday. Big shout out to them. So anyways, if you like this video, then subscribe. That's payment enough to me. Be good to other people. Be good to animals. If you see don't just make adoption your first option from a no-kill shelter. Also check out those kill shelters, because a lot of people say, I would never get an animal from a kill shelter. Well, if you don't get an animal from a kill shelter, they're going to die. Congratulations. So, you know, also think about going to the pound, because some of those animals only have 24 to 48 hours. So adopt an animal from there too. Because in some other shelters, they can live. Those animals are on a time slot. You know what I mean? So they're on borrowed time. So maybe you could find a great friend at a pound, right? Also, if you see a dog out in the street and you want to adopt that dog, why not get that dog and get it checked out? You know? And then you can have a friend forever. At least for as long as he or she lives. Think about getting a cat from the street, not just from a shelter. In the shelters, they're being taken care of, but in the street, what do they have? Bullies, other animals eat them, get ran over by a car. So if you can get them to trust you and you can adopt them, bring them to the vet, get them dewormed, get, you know, flea treatment, whatever, and then you'll have a friend and you did good. Okay? Because some people don't think that way. Some people say, I won't help, I will not get an animal from a kill shelter. Those animals die. So, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, blessed be.